road. And that's something that doesn't happen very often nowadays.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Dolphins, an early season tilt. And when it's an early season tilt, should be ready to roll.
Well, let's face it, the aches and pains haven't really set in yet. And both teams eyeing a really good start to get things going.
A couple of 2-1 teams set to square off, and we're underway here in NFL Week 4. Jakeem Grant now to return. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. Ryan Tannehill will be orchestrating the offense, the top 10 pick back in 2012.
It's a pretty bland game he had last time out. Ended up throwing one interception, didn't have a touchdown to offset it, but the team found a way to win. He found a way to lean on other parts of the offense that carried them through.
First carry for Frank Gore, the newest and oldest Dolphin. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Here's the first carry for Kenyon Drake. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
Okay, let's just make this one simple. We know that the running game is not their thing, but they can't just throw it on every single down without expecting some real heat from the pass rush.
And I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. From the gun, here's Tannehill. Complete to his running back, Kenyon Drake. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A gain of 19 and picking up the first.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
On 1st and 10, Tannehill looking for Stills here, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jason McCourty. And now off to the races down the right side. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Patriot defense has a touchdown. And the defense could not have written a much better script than that first drive, pick 6.
The offense never got a chance to really get oiled up there, did they? But the defense, they certainly got in gear. What a big-time play and a great way for them to start.
And now the offense, they've got to turn things around and figure this out because your backs are on the ground real quickly.
Yeah, usually when you're starting the game getting the ball, 0-0 is the only score you're worried about. Now the second time you get it, you're already down a touchdown.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. Here comes Grant on the return. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Dolphins offense now ready to go back out onto the field. Tannehill and the Dolphins break the huddle. Come up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. And now movement here right away. Maybe a sign of things to come with this crowd. And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5.
Still 1st down.
Last year, the Dolphins were the 2nd most penalized team in the NFL, nearly 9 a game, and now they've got 1st and 15. Drake off the give from Tannehill. And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. A check on the numbers for Kenyon Drake last week. 21 carries, 95 yards, and a score.
And I'm eager to see how they deploy him in this game. Last week, a heavy workload. Do they decide to bring that down a little bit and try and keep him fresh? Or do they say, guess what? He's locked in. Keep handing him the football.
To throw on second down is Tannehill. The Pats are going to get there. Down he goes. Dante Fowler in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now. So after the sack of Tannehill, the Dolphins come up here on a 3rd and long. A shotgun snap for Tannehill. That's caught by his big tight end, Mike Gesicki. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. And it's a 15-yard pickup, but it'll lead to a 4th down.
And there's a nice catch by Mike Gesicki, the rookie out of Penn State. And, partner, you saw him when you were covering Big Ten football. He didn't block very many people, but that's not what they asked him to do. They asked him to go downfield and catch the balls we just saw there.
Yeah, absolutely right, and he can do it with the best of them.
Yeah, and how about him, his high school video? Did you ever see any of that with him dunking basketballs and spiking volleyballs? His athletic ability is off the charts.
They'll run it here. This is James White. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Now Mahomes throwing on 2nd down. Looking middle, it's caught by Gronkowski. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
On 3rd down. That's White. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving. This running game's so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
Blue 45, blue 5.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. The numbers for White a week ago, 16 carries, 101 yards.
And the way they ran the ball in last week's game has to be satisfying to their entire staff because they're seeing not just a back gain big yardage, but they're seeing an offensive line really in sync.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 49-yard line. They'll run with White, and he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. And now we take a peek at the Patriot offense.
Hey, I'm looking outside of Julian Edelman right now because he's back after injury in 2017. How about his 2016 season? 98 catches, over 1,100 yards. But how does he get that done? Works out of the slot a lot, plays with a lot of fire, a lot of fury, and a lot of intelligence. Understands how to run routes, set people up, and finishes it off with big catches.
Now they'll throw with Mahomes. And he lets go a laser pulled in by Edelman. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. And a look at the starters for the Miami defense.
I'm like everyone. I've got a soft spot for the underdog story. And even though Rashad Jones was taken in the 5th round, which isn't so bad, still to think that he's now a perennial Pro Bowl player, went to a 2nd Pro Bowl this past January, that's coming almost out of nowhere. But why does he do it? Covers well, tackles well, but best of all, he leads. That secondary that he plays with, they follow him.
This is 3rd and 1. Very likely 4-down territory, even if they don't get it, though. Here's White. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down. 7 yards there. Good enough to move the sticks. If you make the stop there, maybe you hold them to 3 on this opening drive. They didn't get the stop.
Yeah, new set of downs now. Now you're worried about, just as you pointed out, not just giving up 3, possibly giving up 6. Let's see what they decide to do here, because they've got to change up what they have been doing. It hasn't been working.
Green 90.
Right back to him on first down. And he's going to take this one down to the 25. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber that runs like this early, because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
Now a carry for White. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and it's a 2nd down.
I have no crystal ball up here. I can't truly see into the future. But if they don't start getting some pressure on him, make him move around a little bit and do something with the receivers to, change up their timing, they're just going to get shredded as we've seen so far. Right now, they're off to a blazing start.
Yeah, and you are right. He looks way too comfortable back there in the pocket.
Yeah, there shouldn't be a pillow back there for him, all right? If as a defensive guy, they've got to dump him on his backside a few times, shake things up.
Yeah, they're going to need an in-drive adjustment here on this first series. Mahomes to throw on 2nd down. This will be caught just inside the 10. And he's in. Touchdown, Patriots. Chris Hogan, his first touchdown on the year. And the Patriots add 6 to their lead.
Partner, remember that old film of Peyton Manning going through the route tree with his great receivers in Indianapolis? I think we're seeing the results of the same type of work here today. These guys know each other so well, they don't even have to call the play. They can just look each other and know the route that's going to be run, and usually the connection is perfect.
Gostkowski with the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. A pretty long drive that time, 11 plays all told, and it ends with a New England touchdown. Gostkowski now out to kick it away. The return man is Grant. Out comes the Dolphin offense now as they get set to take over here. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically their scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Dolphins in possession of the football. And they've got it here with a first down. Tannehill hands to Drake. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively, because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
3 yards is the pickup, but it leaves them still needing 11 here on 3rd down.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
Tannehill. And it's caught by Parker. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. He got 29 yards that time.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. They go play action here on 1st down. That is caught at the 7. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the 1st down.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. On 1st and goal, Drake. And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
Try to drop one in, but it's incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Now it's Tannehill. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
And based on my math, they've only converted 1 time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. 3rd downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
Sanders' kick is good, and they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So they do get 3 points, but that's now 3 drives with only the 3 points, not a ratio that's going to win you many ball games.
Not at all, Brandon, and think about it this way. We all know payoff is the key, right? And wouldn't we love to have the concession on every T-shirt that's been printed in football that says finish on it? Because that's the mantra everywhere. Got to be able to finish drives, put points on the board.
Patrick Mahomes on his way out for their next drive. And he had the touchdown on the last drive, also 4 for 4. Very, very effective. What does he need to do to translate that forward into this drive?
Not think that what he saw in coverages last time is exactly what he's going to get again. He's got to play ahead and start thinking to himself, okay, we just did that. What are they going to take away now? What do we go to as a counter? And continue to encourage his offensive line to continue to give him time.
They were really good on the last drive. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Now White. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. His first carry of their 2nd drive, pretty solid. And, of course, remember back to their 1st drive, really strong throughout that one.
Not only is he getting good blocking up front, but how about his vision to find the holes? And he's seeing things before they even open and hurtling through them.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there. From midfield, here's Mahomes. His throw incomplete. Coverage that time by Bobby McCain.
This defense could use some more of these types of plays. How about him reading it, driving on the football, and he's right there for the pass breakup.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9.
Z.
Working from the gun, Mahomes. To the right side, and he's got Edelman. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. That one good for 13 at a New England first down. The former 7th-round pick, Julian Edelman, just continues to have such a productive career.
And has made himself into a receiver. Remember, he was a college quarterback, and not just a productive one, a very good one.
At Kent State, right?
Yes, a great leader, a guy who could make plays with his feet and his arm. Got to the NFL and had to convert into being a receiver and was drafted that way. And that conversion, oh boy, it's been good. Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
On 2nd down, here's Mahomes. And right side caught Hogan. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. He had the touchdown on the opening drive. Now he's got a first down. They were in zone defensively, went with a crossing route. It's always interesting to watch that chess match.
Yeah, and I think safeties don't mind crossing routes against zone because eventually you're going to run into their territory, and that's when they lick their chops in order to get the big hit or a play on the ball.
Offensively, nice execution to find a hole, make the catch. And this one is incomplete. Gronkowski, the intended target, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Gordon. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. They'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
On 3rd down, it's White. Now White lost the football, and this is picked up by the Dolphins. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Drake will start the drive on the ground. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
Brings it just past the 15, able to avoid the initial contact, but not much more there on the play. Dante Hightower on the stop.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
Throwing on 3rd down, Tannehill. And throw right side complete to Parker. 1:59 to go in the first half. Back to Foxborough after this. We'll remind you once again, coming up at halftime, we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He's got stats and scores from around the NFL as we wrap up the first month of the season.
No longer is he a rookie. The coach catch. A true veteran now.
A crafty veteran. 51 yards on the punt there. And the Patriots take over. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. He's had it working pretty well here in this first half up until that last drive when he put it on the turf, Charles.
So I don't think they want to overreact to that fumble because now you've got a guy that's played so well. You don't want to take him and limit his effectiveness by worrying about it too much. But it wouldn't surprise me at all if we saw him next week at meetings. He'd have the football with him at all times.
10 yards there to start the drive and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. From the gun, it's Mahomes. Looking for Edelman, and he hits him. It's complete. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Here's Mahomes to throw, and that is incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. And now let's talk about Kenyon Drake. He's just been looking for some space. I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about him.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage.
While there was no gain on that run, we do know coaches whose identity is rooted in taking it almost to the limit and then changing things up on you down the stretch. I think we're getting really close to that point in time, though, where the identity may have to go out the window, and they've got to go a little bit faster in order to try and win the game.
So we've reached halftime here at Gillette Stadium with the Patriots on top. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone. A lot to get to here this final day of September. So let's get started. We'll start right here in Florida. The New York Jets heading down the coast to take on Jacksonville. And it's the Jaguars who are out in front. Marquise Lee, a touchdown reception. From there, we're off to Tennessee to check on the Titans at home in Nashville. And they currently trail the visiting Philadelphia Eagles. Carson Wentz lighting things up. 3 touchdown passes there. Finally, let's get up to the place they call Titletown, Green Bay, Wisconsin, to see what's happening with the Packers. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting Buffalo Bills. The Packers trying to gut this one out, as it would be a good victory for them if they could get it.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3.
Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Patriots offense, they work their way back out onto the field. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively.
Here we go. 3:39.
Now problems right out of the gate. We're going to get a delay.
Delay of game, offense.
That's going to set them back 5 yards.
Still first down.
So a little bit of a stiffer challenge now. 1st and 15 following the delay of game.
Four down. Check. Safety green. 44. Flank. 44. Ace. Slow. Check 31.
Mahomes now to throw. On the crossing route, that's caught. Julian Edelman. They get a good chunk of that penalty yardage back. A gain of 15. 2nd down. And finding Edelman underneath, that's a recipe for success.
Typical route for a good slot receiver, and Edelman's one of the best in the game. Knows how to go inside what one of my college coaches used to call the briar patch. Got to go in there where it's tough and make those tough catches. And not only can he do it, he can often run away from people after the catch.
And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Cameron Wake. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. Chalk that up as their first sack in this game, and they tallied 4 a week ago.
And probably not as much exultation in that sack as what took us so long. Because when you get 4 the previous week, you're counting on continuing that momentum. They didn't get that done in the first half of the game. Let's see now if they start to bring even more exotic pressure towards the quarterback.
Green 39.
Throwing now is Mahomes. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the Tucker roll that they can fall back on anymore.
New England on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This will be 3rd and 19. Now here's Mahomes. This is White on the screen. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 8 yards on the screen there, not enough. And it'll be 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And he'll get credit for putting him inside the 20 as the fair catch is made right at about the 19-yard line. So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker board?
Yeah, those two.
Back to the ground, this time with Gore. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
2nd and 1 and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
On first down, Drake. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with him.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. Now Tannehill, and this is going to be incomplete. The Notre Dame man, Jalen Smith, able to get a hand in and knock it away.
We're into the second half now. This is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
And he'll take it ahead to the 28-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. They keep it on the ground. White again. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. The tackle by Robert Quinn. He's fumbled already once, Charles. I'm not going to say that that was in his mind there, but I'm sure that during some of these plays he is mindful of it.
And once you fumble the ball, you know what your team tells you and your coaching staff? Take care of it. Rest of the game. And it does get in your mind a little bit, and sometimes that slows down your effort in trying to get free from tacklers.
And the defenders know it, too. They sniff that out, don't they?
Everybody wants to swarm the football. You know the rule is first guy hold up the runner, everyone else try and get there and strip the ball free.
That goes as a gain of 11 and a Patriot first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Now a first down carry. It's Michelle. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. Now Mahomes. Quickly to Gronkowski. That's caught. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
New England on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And he will have The first down as he gets this to the 47.
Someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on third down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 47. Mahomes going to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jordan Phillips forcing his way through there to drop him for a loss of a good 10 yards.
Like how they started the third quarter here. They forced a punt on the first drive, and after this sack, it looks like they'll be forcing another one as well.
Absolutely. Maybe got their second win coming out of the locker room. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20.
Z.
Looking to throw is Mahomes. Goes underneath here to White. And he loses the football a second time. But this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same.
Now, I have to admit, partner, that I've often thought that I don't like this rule, where the offensive player fumbles the ball, it goes out of bounds, and they get to keep it.
That's just because you're a defensive guy. That's why you don't like it.
Yeah, you're right. It is a slanted view, isn't it?
But this is where, for the offensive team, the sideline is their friend. Usually it's not their friend.
Yeah, exactly right. I actually played for a guy in college. You know what he used to name the sideline? Sammy. Sammy sideline, and use him well.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target. Incomplete. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Officially just 27 yards there on the punt. And it'll be Dolphin football. And out come the Dolphins now. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse. And I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
On 2nd down, it's Drake. Now he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
If these guys going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. A shotgun snap for Tannehill. He dumps it off to Drake. And brought down, but not before they're able to get it up to the 25. A Miami first down on the 14-yard pickup.
And I know you can't really see it, but that play spells frustration with a capital F for the guys on defense. They covered everyone else, end up going to the running back out of the backfield, and he picks up a back-breaking first down.
It's Dolphin football, but they trail here as we get set for the 4th. Here's Tannehill now on 2nd down. Incomplete. The Dolphins on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 7. Here's Tannehill. He loses 5 full yards to bring up 4th. Here's Matt Hawk now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. Taken from just outside the 30. 8 yards on the return following a punt of 41. And out will come the offense as they take over. And the Patriots gearing up to go now.
Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes a better punter may actually determine the outcome.
And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back at New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech.
Now Mahomes throwing on 2nd down. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Akeem Spence getting in there from his defensive tackle spot to snow him under for a loss of 4.
So what's the word I'm looking for here about how this drive just started?
Disjointed?
I'll go with that one. I mean, think about it. First down, took a bad loss on a running play. Take the sack on 2nd down. Now they got to come up with something big here on 3rd.
On 3rd and long, it's Mahomes. Wide open, Julian Edelman. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 32-yard line. To throw, it's Mahomes. And he lets go a laser pulled in by Edelman. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. So now we have Edelman slow to get back to his feet. Appears to be shaken up. We'll get a report when we return to Foxborough. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1.
Left, ready, green,
And they'll go on the ground. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
On 3rd down, it's White, and he will have the 1st down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
Starting to become a tough spot for this defense. You're down 4th quarter, looking a little fatigued maybe on that side of the ball.
Partner, we've seen this before, haven't we? Because every coach we've ever talked to says body language is important. And now you're seeing guys with their hands on their hips, bent over, hands on their knees. And the offensive guys, they're just saying, let's just keep running it out. And we've got them now.
The 6 yards on the pickup, and it leaves him with a 1st and goal.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
2 of their 3 red zone trips so far, they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal.
Black 58 rail. Black 58 rail.
And they'll run it here. And a nice pickup there. He gets about 5 down to the 4-yard line.
Get him, boy! Get him, boy!
2nd and goal from inside the 5. They come out here in the I. He'll get it up the middle, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that is going to set up 3rd and goal. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Well, they've been so good on 3rd down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd and goal? On the toss, here's White. And he's over the line and into the end zone for a Patriot score. James White, his first touchdown on the year. And the Patriots add on to their lead.
But they decided to run it in and got it done on 3rd and goal. A lot of times, that's a passing play.
And the kicker, this has to come out for the PAT. He can breathe a sigh of relief as well, right?
Although I don't know if he's really breathing a sigh of relief. I think he likes to put 3 points on his ledger.
Gostkowski the extra point, and the lead is up to 18 now. Gostkowski now out to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants.
And he goes down. It's a Patriot sack. Dante Fowler in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Tannehill now to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Devontae Parker was the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This will be 3rd and forever. Out of the gun, Tannehill. And that is incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
Here's Matt Hawk now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Returnable here from the 38. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And the Patriots will have great starting position as they take over 1st and 10. The Patriots offense now, they work their way back onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
That was a nice catch, but unable to stay in bounds. And remember, it wasn't a wide receiver who works on that all the time.
I was going to say, he likes to get the ball handed to him. Now, don't get me wrong, he's part of the passing game as well, but maybe a little out of his comfort zone there.
Yeah, he might want to have a few words to say to us about that later, but I am still going with you on that one. Wide receivers work on a little bit more.
And he'll work his way inside the 30 now to the 28. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. They stay on the ground. This time it's Michel. And he's got some space here. And down inside the 15 he goes. 14 yards is the pickup there, and a New England first down. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So the Patriots with a football as we get you reset. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. Keeping it on the ground on first, Michel. And they get to him quickly here as he's stopped right around the 13. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. And on the ground they go with the running back. And he's going to work this one down to about the 5. Call it an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
On 3rd down, it's White, and he is in. Touchdown, New England. James White with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Patriots add 6 to their lead.
Well, I've got to laugh here, and I really don't want to because the old school in me is not happy about this score this late, not necessary. But this is Madden, isn't it? Yeah. This is how it works.
Rub it in. Have a day.
I mean, what does it matter? These guys who are playing in this game, there are no feelings
Exactly.
there.
They don't have to face the guy. Well, they might if they're in the same room going head-to-head.
But that's
the
about
virtual guys on the screen don't have to face each other after this one.
In that case, run it up.
The Dolphins' offense now heads back on the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Tannehill, he goes underneath the Drake. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that. Swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
He's going to let it fly. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Parker unable to get that one. This spot in the 4th quarter with that deficit, had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
And good yardage as he gets this one up to about the 23. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for the Patriots, they're on a nice early roll as they move to 3-1 with a win here. And they'll have another home date next week as the Indianapolis Colts come to town. Meanwhile, for Miami, they'll fall back to 500 at 2-2.